All right, good morning. Beautiful morning here. Good morning for me anyways. Nice misty overcast day, and we're going to be installing a new mound type septic system here. And the first thing I like to do is set the tanks. So we got some tanks coming in a few hours. We're going to go ahead and excavate here and get this hole dug and prepped and leveled for the tanks. So the first thing we did before we got started is we took some measurements of some setbacks. We put in some little tiny pink whisker hubs over here and here. That marks the downslope side of the mound gravel bed. And we picked this location, the property owner and I, slightly different from the plans, but the engineer approved this location. We're meeting the setback to the fence, meeting the setback to the building, which is 5 feet for either. And all we have to do before we dig totally to depth is make sure we shoot the building drain line outlet. That's the critical part right there, and make sure that the flow line at the inlet of our tank is low enough so that we can achieve 2% fall from that pipe to the inlet of the tank. But that laser head's on charge right now, so we're going to go ahead and just start digging, and then we'll get that tripod set up in a second and shoot some grades. All right, got the laser head charged, it's running, and I just shot the elevation of the pipe coming out of the building over here and just halted digging on this for a second because I want to get this grade right for the bottom of the tank hole before we proceed. So if you're going to be setting some tanks, it's important that you know your elevations, what you're tying into. In this case, we have this 3-inch DWV pipe down here. That's a Schedule 40 pipe. Shot the top of it and adjusted the receiver for 3.5 inches for bottom of pipe flow line. Measured the distance from that pipe to the planned inlet of the tank at 16 feet. I multiplied 16 feet by 12 inches to give me the total number of inches. I believe that was 192. Could be off on that. And then I multiply that number of inches by 0.02. That's 2% fall, and that gave me the fall in number of inches that I need at 3.84 inches. So now I know I can shoot the flow line of this pipe, adjust my receiver for bottom of tank hole, adding the invert elevation of the tank to the bottom of the tank hole, plus that fall requirement of 3.84, let's call it 4 inches, in this 16-foot stretch of pipe right here for 2% fall. So I got that all done, and now I can get back on the tractor and finish digging the tank hole. I got it covered.
Alright, well, I'm gonna head back and start preparing the gate.
Sounds good. Thanks, Grant.
Yep.
All right, we got this hole all cleaned up.
Take care, sir.
Had Grant come in because I knew I was running short on time. He moved this dirt out of the way so the tank truck could come in and do this set for me. But 1,500 gallon septic tank hole here, roughly a 12 foot by 7 foot hole. 1,000 gallon sump tank hole, roughly 7 by 10, so 2 feet shorter. And 2 inches lower, just so we have a little bit of fall coming out of the outlet of the septic tank into the sump tank. After these tanks are set, I'll probably come through here and scratch out a shelf for the piping to go from the septic tank to the sump tank. And this is the 1,500 on the truck, so let's go ahead and get this guy set.
Back towards the truck.
Just a tiny bit, yeah.
Okay, and then to the wall.
To the wall.
Okay, it's not quite, it's down a little bit.
All right.
See what you think.
Okay.
It's down enough it's not going to swing or anything for you.
Let me just lower it down an inch more and I'll
okay.
check with the laser here real quick. Alright, so what I did there was I just shot the pipe at the building, shot the top of it, tightened this down, went over to the inlet hole in that tank, held the reader stick above the inlet hole, and just made sure I had a reading right there. That tells me for sure that the pipe coming out of the building is higher than the inlet of our tank. Just good practice to double check those things before you do your tank set, or before the truck leaves, I should say. So we're good there. I'm just going to check the top of the tank, see how close I got it in terms of leveling out the hole, and he'll take off and go grab the other tank. Coming down and you still have a high beep, you can just lean that reader stick just a tiny bit, and then if you get a level reading, you know you're just not very far off. If you end up having to really lean your stick over, you know you're off by quite a ways. And so what I did just then is I just shot the inlet boot, just the top of that rubber boot there, adjusted the laser receiver for 2 inches of drop to the outlet, checked it, and there is 2 inches of drop to the outlet. So tank is level, tank is set low enough to receive waste from the house with a 2% fall in the building drain line, and there's a 2-inch drop through the tank. Just double checking the manufacturing more than anything there, but everything's good to go, and just need to set the sump tank. like it?
Okay.
All right, so what I did there is I just shot the top of the rubber boot on the outlet, and I was just checking, making sure we have a little bit of fall to the rubber boot on the inlet. We have a 2-inch drop, and that is how I graded the tank hole. This tank hole for the main septic tank is 2 inches higher in elevation than the sump tank hole. This outlet elevation is 52 inches up from the bottom of the tank. The inlet on the sump here is 52 inches up from the bottom of the tank. We have our pump riser manhole on the far end of the tank. That's just typically how we do it. And so we'll just dig a little trench right here. We'll come out with 4-inch ABS. We'll do a 90, another 90, and back into the sump tank with that pipe rested on a shelf. And that way when the dirt settles, it's not going to take the pipe with it, and we won't have crooked T's in our, you know, outlet or inlet of the sump. So yep, looking good, real nice and straight. The sump's jogged back here a little bit of an inch or so. I don't know, it might not be acceptable. No, I'm fine with it, that's all right. But the two tanks are parallel as parallel can be. They're 7 1/8 of an inch apart, parallel. Let's double check that real quick. All right, 7 1/8 and 7 1/8 of an inch. Is that necessary? Not at all. Do I think it looks good when you have an inspection or the property owners are looking at it? Yeah, because I think what it demonstrates is that you care about precision and you care about your work, right? So if you don't make that straight, then I would guess that a property owner or an inspector might go, whoa, they don't even care to make the tank straight. What else is crooked on this job, or what else is not really receiving the amount of care that maybe it deserves? So anyways, just a tip for you. Make things parallel, make things straight, make things square if you can. I think it looks good, and I think it demonstrates precision and care. So there you have it, looking good. We'll get help Mark get loaded up and get on out of here. All right, we got Mark out of here safely. He is on the road and got these tanks set, and gonna be calling it here for this video. I have to be somewhere else tomorrow, and I'm gonna be starting a new project, a big project, a slide repair, and I'll be having to come back to this project when we have it scheduled a little bit later this month to be working on this. So please do subscribe if you want to see how this Mound septic system's constructed and put together. And thanks for joining me today for this tank set. Be safe out there, and we'll catch you next time. Over and out.